What's up to everybody? Just gonna wait for a few people to come online and we'll start chatting it up. Just gonna wait for more people to come online so we can start talking. Just want to talk about a few things. I know this is a live random stream, but like I always say, I only come on here random and whenever I got some time, and here we are. So just waiting for a few more people to come online and see we start talking a bit. I just want to talk about a few things, not that many things, but just a few things, and just hang out with y'all and stuff. I know, like I said, this is a Sunday, so whoever's watching, I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know the business. We'll get started in a few minutes, so I'm about to give it one more minute, and we'll see what's up. I see it shows people joining and then they leave. I guess just curiosity, you know, like with the cat. It is what it is. Well, here we are. Feel free to drop your comments and say whatever you want. Just keep it respectful, that's all. Say what you want, and I'll read them, and I'll probably respond to them. Like I said, just waiting for a few more people to come on, and we'll talk. So, I know I just said that, but that's what it is. Let's just wait. I know in different time zones right now. I'm on the East Coast, so it's like 8 something over here. I know on the West Coast it's like 5 something, I think, or I think they're like 3 hours behind or something like that. But yeah, we'll see. What's up? What's up? Appreciate you guys stopping by. Hello. All right, so I just want to talk about a few things real quick. Not nothing big or nothing massive, but of course the main thing, with that announcement that we got with Zach being again at WB. Very interesting how things are slowly changing and shifting for the good. Yo, what up? So this is a very interesting times and moments that we are living and experiencing, because who would have thought that Zach would have been, back again at WB? This is what I've been saying for a while. You gotta have faith, you gotta have hope, and this is where it's finally building up, and that's the beauty of it. And when it comes down to it, we the fans just have to continue, fighting for what we believe in. If everybody else is fighting and doing the same thing for what they believe in, the same thing with us. Hey, what's going on? DCU Lanterns. No, I'm not excited for anything that James Gunn is doing. Honestly, that's just my point of view. But honestly, I'm just not interested in anything that he's putting out. Like we just saw the picture. I don't know if you guys seen it, from yesterday to today, that he's I think with the house for Kent, Clark Kent. Um, it's a downgrade. Honestly, like I'm expecting, like, oh wow, he's gonna come out with good stuff, and every time it just gets more and more like, wow, like you can tell they're going on a real cheap route, and it caught up to them. Real talk, it just caught up to them. And I get it, they're trying to save money, studio, but this is completely going like on a wish list, if you want to say, because man, they're cutting so much. and they're just trying to go the cheapest route as possible. And honestly, I have no words for it. Yep. We enjoy what we enjoy. That's what we fans do. I mean, all type of fans are always gonna talk. That's in every fandom. That's just not here. You're gonna have all type of fans in everything. Like I said, I'm a Transformers fan and I'm a Jurassic Park fan, and people do the same thing. It doesn't change. And I think it's just something. Hey, what up? What up? I just think overall, when it comes down to every fandom, this applies to everybody. Like we all have a passion for whatever any fandom is. Like for example, you have your Star Wars fans, you have your old ones, and then you have your new fans. The same thing with Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I'm more of Jurassic Park, but if I post something Jurassic World, like the fandom comes out and everybody just starts going at it. And the same thing is happening with DC and Marvel. You have old Marvel and then you have new Marvel, and the same thing with DC. I prefer the DCEU. I don't care about what James Gunn is doing, and the DCU is just not interesting to me as a fan. Yep, yep. Look, man, I know a lot of people are gonna get dragged to go see it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not even gonna go pay to watch that movie. I'm just gonna save my time. Till the day of the day, I still haven't even watched Aquaman 2, just because, from all the reviews and what people were saying, I was like, look, man, when I saw that the end credit scene, or what was the last scene when he was eating the roach, I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm not even gonna watch it and waste my money. Not even like for free. I've watched it. It just doesn't get my attention. I seen the clips, on YouTube, where, like, I guess the scenes that were in the movie and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, like, I've lost interest. Yeah, Marvel ended over with Endgame. Like I said, everything finished at Endgame. They should have just stopped with Endgame and just completely gone and do what they had to do. But like, I don't know, it's just different how they just should have done with what they did with Marvel. And like I said, it's interesting with the way that things are shifting and things are changing over at WB slowly. And don't be surprised if this is because the effect that they've been having lately, where their stocks continue to drop. So they're like, yo, we need to do something about it. And I've been saying it for a while. Remember, I've been saying it in multiple videos where I'm like, it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to call back Zach and say, we need you. And look, they're going to bring him on board with 300, with that prequel that they talked about, and things are being negotiated right now, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna watch it on bootleg, honestly. I mean, if you're excited for DCU, whoever is excited for it, hey, more power to you. I'm not saying don't, and hey, if that's what you enjoy and you want to, more power to you. And the same thing when it comes to like whatever things that they're gonna be doing, go for it. Like enjoy it. I'm not saying not to. I mean, in the end, we're all fans. It's just some of us are gonna watch certain things and support certain things, and some are not. But I mean, to each their own. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it would have been interesting if that's what they would have done. If Look, like I said it for a while. Watch my old videos and you will see. Um, I said that if James Gunn would have said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna bring Zach, and we're gonna do these productions or these projects or whatever it is. We're gonna finish and wrap up, you know, Zack Snyder's his Snyderverse. Do Justice League 2, Justice League 3, and then when that's all concluded, go ahead and reboot." I would have been, as a fan, satisfied. I would have been like, "Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about." Like, you won points with me when it comes to that as a fan. But what happened and what everything came about from it, with the flush and how they try to erase and just try to like put things in, like, well, this took place, this didn't happen. We see clearly what James Gunn did. He took away Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck was supposed to be in the end credit scene of The Flash, setting up something, for the future, leaving the door open for whatever director wants to come in, and who knows, whatever can come from it. And what happened? They brought in George Clooney. George Clooney has never been part of the DCU. Neither has he been part of the DCEU. Overall, he hasn't been part of anything when it came to, was, the Snyderverse, and it just was a whole different timeline. So I'm like, why would you do that? You get what I'm saying? So That right there upset a lot of fans. And it's like, whoa, you're just causing more confusion. People are just getting more and more confused. Which is the Batman of this timeline? Where and what timeline are we at? Because they want to talk about the Snyderverse, but then they want to get away from it. So, my biggest question out of everything is, I don't know about y'all, but my biggest question within DC and moving forward with the DCU, where and what does where does Thanos, I mean not Thanos, Darkseid fall into play? Because Darkseid is apparently one Darkseid in every universe. So are we just gonna sweep that under the rug and it never took place? It never happened. You see, that's what I'm saying. You how do you cover that? You just can't. So you need to explain that. And nothing is making sense right now. If nothing is making sense right now, things are not going to make sense once this whole universe fully starts. It's all off to a bad start, which is not good. For the reveal of Superman's costume, there was no excitement. What, a handful of people were excited? We got more hype with what we got with the announcement of Zack Snyder with 300. It was so good that the stocks started going back up at WB. That tells you a lot. That says that there's profit right there. And why? Because WB has been slowly going down. And like I said, look, I'm not opposing it and I'm not saying not to. I'm down with the whole sell the Snyderverse, but it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because WB knows that that's a big IP. They're not going to sell it. That's like telling Disney, go ahead and sell Star Wars. It's not going to happen because they know that's their bread and butter. Whether they put a good product or not, they're not going to. Do you know that's like going to Universal? Yo, sell the Fast Saga. They're not going to because that's their baby. The same thing with WB. So what I'm thinking and I'm seeing, and like I've talked about it recently, is WB stocks. The lowest that I remember seeing was like 7.22. I'm not into stocks, like I said, but when you see those numbers in the red, but then you got Netflix in the 600s, that tells you a lot. And for everybody saying, oh, well, Zach wasn't, he's not profit. Nobody cares about Rebel Moon. Yo, Rebel Moon is succeeding. We're winning with that. How? We have Rebel Moon 1, we have 2. That's regular, PG-13. That's the Netflix cut, if you want to say. But then we have now, in the summer, we have the extended 6 hours R-rated cut from Zach. What does that tell you? If I was a studio and I would be like, yo, we're losing money, we're not making money, we're not going to continue doing something. You know why? Because it's a loss. There's no money to be made off of it. Now, what's been happening on both sides? I'm going to talk about that real quick. With Warner Brothers, for example, they had money and they had profit with the Snyderverse. And don't tell me they didn't, because the numbers were high. People were in theaters and people wanted more. That's why when it went to Aquaman, the first one, they made $1 billion. Why? Because James Wan was consulting and he was talking behind the scenes with Zack Snyder, and he was using the, what do you call it? Oh my God, the storyboards from what they were going to do. So that's why that movie was so good. And let's not forget, we had just got off of Justice League. So people were hungry. They're like, yo, I want more, because Marvel was already ahead of the game. So now, after Aquaman, the first one, things started going down, because now we're entering, after that movie, the Hamadaverse. And the Hamadaverse entered into the Gunn verse, if you want to say, with Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. Those two, they merge and mix in the timeline, if you want to say. Why do I say that? Because James Gunn was overseeing already when it came to Black Adam and everything that came after that. Because let's not forget, Black Adam had Henry Cavill. And what happened? Boom, that's where the whole, well, we're going to reboot and we're going to do everything. Why? Why? If things are going good, the fans are happy, you have the actor Henry Cavill announcing his comeback. Why are you going to embarrass him? Why are you going to embarrass yourself as a company and do what you did to him? And what did they do? Oh, no, we're not going to do anything, with Superman. But while that's going on, we have James Gunn in the background. Already, rumors coming out at the time that Henry Cavill was going to be replaced with David. And what happens now? That's what we got. So all this time, James Gunn has been lying to us because, oh no, I don't have nothing to do with it. Yes, you do. Your wife was on Black Adam. She was on Peacemaker. She was at the end of Shazam 2. That tells you everything. It's just favoritism. Now, when it comes all down to it, let's look at it from the other point of view. Netflix. Netflix is winning with Zack Snyder. Their stocks are high, their numbers are high, and Netflix is investing more in it. Netflix is so kind that they're like, yo, Zach, do whatever you want. Here's the keys. Do whatever you want. Take your time, but just put out good quality. And that's what he's been doing. Meanwhile, you have the fake media and all these trolls coming out and want to do the same thing like they did with Batman versus Superman. Want to talk down and say, no, it's not good. It's not worth it. This and that. And that's where the problem came in with WB at the time, back when they had Batman versus Superman. Because once they announced Batman versus Superman, where was Marvel? They were already ahead of the game. And even, I don't remember who admitted it, but somebody at Marvel admitted. They're like, yeah, we changed the name from Captain America versus Iron Man for Civil War because of Batman versus Superman. And then what happened? They released it like a week or two when the movie came out. So of course, at the time, Marvel was ahead of the game. I remember because everybody was like, "Yo, we're talking about Marvel and everything." So what happens if WB would have kept going with what they had with Zack Snyder? I guarantee you, I put everything on it. They would have been on top, and they would have been so successful to the date of today. We would have already been right now with Ben Affleck's Batman, probably 1, 2, and 3. We would have already been wrapped up with Wonder Woman 3. We would have already had Man of Steel 3. So their trilogies would have been complete. And we would have already probably been coming off of Zack Snyder's Justice League 3, or probably coming up to it. See how big it would have been? And then after all that's done, yo, reboot, do whatever you want. That would have been cool. I'm fine with that. But it's just the way that they approached it. They didn't do it right. And that's why a lot of fans got upset, because now the division comes in. Not only with Snyder fans, not with James Gunn fans, now you have Matt Reeves fans, now you have the Nolan fans, you have everybody just divided. And it's like, if they would have just said, look, we're going to use the Flash and we're going to do something bigger than what Marvel did with the multiverse. That's why I'm saying the multiverse is in the power of their hands, but they're not using it to the fullest. If they would have used the multiverse and said, look, we're going to bring in all the Batmans. You want to bring in George Clooney? Go ahead. Michael Keaton? Bring it. Ben Affleck? Do it. You want to use Robert Pattinson? Hell, make it happen. Open it to where it's going to be huge, bigger than what, Marvel and Sony did with Spider-Man, with No Way Home. It would have been on that epic scale. But what happened? Somebody in the creative team said, you know what? Let's not do that. Why? That's so successful. It would have been a massive hit. But if you look at everything the way that things are going, now Marvel is in the dump. People don't care about it because of what they've done. They've done the same thing like with Star Wars. I haven't kept up with Marvel since after Endgame. I saw probably the first season of Loki. I just wasn't interested, honestly. It's like, I'm just not feeling it. It's not the same anymore. The same thing. I gave James Gunn a chance with The Suicide Squad. I gave him another chance with Peacemaker. It was so bad and so cringe that I'm like, oh my God, this is what they're going to go forward with? Why? This is what they're sacrificing quality just to be generic and say, hey, look, we want to be like Marvel. Up to this point, if anybody from WB is listening, or if anybody has a plug, let them hear this. Why do you want to be like your competitor? Why are you guys so desperate and eager to be like your company that's your rival? It doesn't work. DC has always been dark. It's been so dark that, and like I said, McDonald's, when Batman Returns came out back in 1992, pulled away the toys from the Happy Meals because it was so dark. See what I'm saying? So you're going to tell me that, what's his name, Tim Burton is different from Zack Snyder? No, it's both dark universes. Why? Because it has a more realistic take. People love the 89 Batman. I love it. But I prefer Batman Returns, the 92 version. It's more realistic for the time. The same thing with Ben Affleck. It's more realistic for this time. Robert Pattinson, first things first, That's not my type of Batman. I like his costume. I just don't like him as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. He's just too dull. He's just there. You see what I'm saying? But if Marvel, I mean not Marvel, if DC would have kept going with the whole dark take and the way that they started, they would have been ahead of the game. And it proves it. Why? Because Batman versus Superman was going to be rated R. We have Zack Snyder's Justice League that's rated R. And we have David Ayers, well, it's not his final cut, but the extended version of Suicide Squad that's rated R. Yo, what is that telling you? People want that. That's what you need to give them. That's the route you need to take, the rated R version. Marvel wasn't doing that, and Marvel is not doing that. They're trying to. They did it with Doctor Strange, but I think that just scared most of their fan base away because, of course, Disney has always catered, to kids and the young ones, while DC has always catered to like the teens and more adults. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people got butthurt because, oh no, it's too dark. Oh no, I can't take my kids to go watch that. Who cares? This is for adults. This is for like mature audiences. That's why those movies are quality and they continue to age like fine wine. Look at it. We are almost what, 10 years deep from Man of Steel, and people are still talking about it like if it was yesterday. It's amazing. At the same time, it's controversial. You see what I'm saying? Batman versus Superman. People, you're only gonna hear two things: good things or bad things. That's it. There's no in between. Either you like it or you don't like it, and that's it. But it's amazing how people till this day are still talking about Batman versus Superman like it was yesterday. But nobody's talking about Captain America Civil War like that. Why? Because it's quality. Zach was ahead of the game. WB was ahead of the game. Back in that time, in 2013, when everything kicked off with Man of Steel, the whole DCU overall, it was ahead of the game. And that's where WB fails to realize and see, hey, look, we have gold in our hands. We have diamonds, we have rubies, we have everything that people want. Look, I'm showing you on this video that I have these figures. These are from Play Arts Kai. These are from back in the days. What does that show you? I'm a fan. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to support it because that's profit. That's what I like. That's what fans want and fans enjoy. So when it comes down to it, now, all of a sudden now, kind of in the same topic, but switching it, why is McFarlane Toys putting out these characters? Because there's money. They know that fans are going to buy it. They're going to eat it up. And this is where WB knows. So this is what I'm saying. Let's say Zach does come back and then he does get to announce, hey, look, we're going to do Justice League 2, Justice League 3. WB approved of it. And hell, even WB announces, hey, look, it's restored. You imagine how their stocks are going to go up? It's going to be massive. It's going to be insane. This is why I say WB is not going to sell their IP. It's just not going to happen. The only way that that would happen is for another studio to come and buy them out. But with what just happened, with Zach being announced that he's going to return back to WB to do a prequel for 300, that's going to help now WB. And they know that it's going to help them because now they're going to be in the green. And it showed it because now their stocks are starting to go back up just by one announcement. How come that didn't happen with James Gunn when they announced Superman? On the contrary, it went down. It went more and more down. That speaks for itself. That's what I'm telling y'all. That right there shows you where and what the people want. David Zaslav, the head of WB, right? He's watching, he's hearing, he's listening, but he's not taking action. And finally, hopefully, something is clicking where they're seeing that their stocks continue to drop and they're like, you know what? We need to do something about it. Cling, cling, cling. Oh, that's right. We need to bring Zach back. And look at what they did. Maybe they're testing the waters to see, hey, are the fans going to still receive us? Because, Zach is over at Netflix. Yes, we will. But don't try him and do what you did to him with Justice League. I'll let that one slide. But if you're going to bring Zach on board, let Zach cook and let him do what he needs to do as a director. You want money? You want our money? Then do the same like Netflix. Give him the authority and say, look, do what you want to do. And that's it. And you're going to see how everybody's going to come out. Why? Because the fans want it. The mainstream audience is divided. You have fans that are like, I'm gonna go watch it because of whatever reasons. But then you have general audience, if you want to say, where they're like, well, okay, I mean, it's another Batman movie, why not? But you want to target the fans that are gonna come out and support it, and that's where we come into play. I remember when we were all fighting and defending the Snyder Cut, everybody was saying no, it's never going to happen. And then what happens? Even Ann Sarnoff, I forgot what she was. She was something big at WB. She's like, oh, we want to thank Zach for his trilogy. Lady, it doesn't stop there. We're gonna keep on fighting. This is why I say, like Darkseid said, we will stop at nothing because there's no stopping us. And you've seen other channels that they're talking about, and they're like, whoa, I gave it to you, Snyder fans. You guys are passionate. Exactly. That's what we are. We're passionate. We're fighting for something that was stolen from us. How and why do I say that? Simple. WB promised us that beautiful lie that they were going to give us Justice League 2, Justice League 3, Cyborg, Ben Affleck's The Batman. Because remember, before Robert Pattinson, that was supposed to be the title for Ben Affleck's movie, The Batman. But then again, we got robbed. Ben got robbed. And they gave that to Robert Pattinson. Overnight. It just happened like that. Right? So I'm not forgetting that one. But at the same time, we're supposed to get Man of Steel 2. And what happens? Boom. They stripped all that away from us and they took it. And now they want to do, we're going to do a reboot. Oh, but we're going to wrap everything up with The Flash. The Flash? The Flush was terrible. That's not how you end a whole universe. You have the strong power of the multiverse, and that's how you're going to use it. That's an embarrassment. That's not how you do it. Marvel did it 10 times better because they brought in 3 actors. They got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and they got Tom Holland. So you got 3 different eras. The old era, which was his, Tobey Maguire is from the era of Michael Keaton. And then you have Andrew Garfield, which is the era of Ben Affleck. And then you have what's Tom Holland, which is the new one with the era of what's his name, Robert Pattinson. If they would have done that, they would completely outperform Marvel in every way, shape, and form, and we wouldn't be in this mess. This is what, like I said, I believe in giving second chances to anybody and everybody. All right, WB, as a fan, I'll give them another chance, but like I said, I'm still gonna keep an eye on you. Why? Because if you did us dirty the same way you did with Justice League and you screwed over Zach, don't do that again. Because you know the power of the fans, and you know that we are not going to take it and we won't put up with it. And they know it. And I think they're finally realizing that they need to do that because they're on critical condition in the sense where if they don't do something about it to bring in the fans, they're going to be forced to sell. And that's where I think that they don't want. And they don't want that to happen. And it makes sense. If you're a company, you're going to do everything you can to save it. It's sinking like the Titanic, but repair it while you still can. And how do you do that? Please the fans. That's it. The power to the fans. That's it. We're the ones with the money. We're the ones that we open or we close our wallets. And that's it. Let me check comments real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening. Like it's wild. That's why I say if WB wants to move forward with James Gunn, do what you want to do, but don't bring in people that are from the DCEU. Why are you going to keep John Cena as Peacemaker? He's from the DCEU. Why are you going to keep Viola Davis as Amanda Waller? She's from the DCEU. If it wasn't for David Ayer, we would not have Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. And what's his name? James Gunn wouldn't have that actress in none of his things. See what I'm saying? So you're going to pick and choose? The same thing with Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn? Come on, man. Come on. Since the beginning, we already know what's up. This is why we need to keep on doing what we're doing. And a lot of people are not going to support James Gunn and his DCU. As we get closer, I've been saying it for a while. I said it from the beginning. Don't forget. Remember, I've been saying it. Other channels were saying, oh, I believe in James Gunn. Oh, I think things are going to shift and change for the good and this and that. And I remember I came out, and I don't remember where I posted it, but I had said it. I was like, be careful with James Gunn. He's the Trojan horse. And like I said it multiple times. If you're familiar with ancient history or whatever, You know what the Trojan horse is. It's not something good. You have the enemy that's sneaking right under your nose and then destroying you like Age of Ultron from the inside outside. And that's what happened. And that's what's happening. Because now you have him picking and choosing who stays and who's going. So you're gonna tell me that Zolo, the guy that played Blue Beetle, he's from the DCEU. He continues to the DCU. I see favoritism. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the division is coming. Because if James Gunn wants to do his reboot, that's fine. But recast everybody. Start a whole new universe. Don't continue with anybody from the DCEU. So why do some people get to stay and some people get to go? There's no logic explanation. That's just picking and choosing who you want and who you don't want to. That's it. That's what it all comes down to. Let me read a comment real quick. Oh, okay. That's to somebody else. But this is, like I say, this is the main thing that WB, I think, that they're trying to do. They're trying to save themselves. And that makes sense. That's fine. That's understandable. You got to do what you got to do to save your company. Like, it is what it is. This is why I love Netflix, in the sense that Netflix respects their directors. That's something that Warner Brothers has said that they were going to do, and they haven't been doing it. They don't keep their word. They're not respecting Matt Reeves to do the Batman 2. Look at how long it's been delayed. Like, you're going to continue delaying it. In the end, it's just going to end up getting canceled. Let's be real. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the same thing what WB did to Zack. You're not respecting the director. And the same thing they did to David Ayer. You're not respecting the director. You want to earn points with the fans again, WB? Simple. All you have to do is now say that you're going to do and include the Snyderverse. Somewhere in the loop, go ahead and do it. It doesn't have to take place in the same timeline as James Gunn. But if you wanted to, hell, do it. Who knows? Maybe you might double the profits. But do it right. But let Zack do his thing. Don't try to screw him over like y'all did with Justice League. We already learned that it doesn't work with the Marvel formula inside of WB. WB needs to do what they were doing before. They had balls. Like Joker said in The Dark Knight. What happened? Did your balls fall? It's the same thing with WB. As a studio, what happened? Did your balls fall? I mean, you guys were always dark. It's always been a dark take. So you're going to tell me that with the Burton universe, with Batman and Keaton, that it wasn't dark? Of course it was. It's still dark to the day of the day. And the same thing with the Snyderverse. Look, I get it. A lot of people don't want the R-rated version of, these characters. But I do. As a fan, that's what I want. As a customer, as a paying customer, I have every right, the same like you, to demand and say, this is what I want. Why? Because you're paying for it. So if you want quality and you want that type of movie or whatever entertainment that you enjoy, damn it, you're entitled to it because you are the fan. You are the paying customer. You're the consumer. Like I said the other day, you don't go to a restaurant and say, hey, look, let me get a steak. And then they bring you lobster. And you're like, hey, I didn't want lobster. I want steak. You have every right to say, take that back and bring me what I requested. Or if not, I'm just not going to eat here, period. See what I'm saying? The same thing applies to this in entertainment, no matter what and where it goes. Oh, let's not even talk about the Supergirl movie. Oh, man. Now that you're bringing that up, that's another thing, too. So how, you see what I'm saying? You jump from, what is this, Superman, that originally was going to be called Superman Legacy. And now you're jumping into Supergirl a year later? I wonder why. That seems a little desperate to me. I mean, how did that just like slipped in there? It's like it's all good. Like, oh, let's just throw it. No, again, the DCU is starting off sloppy and is going to end sloppy. That's even if we even make it past Superman, because I'm telling you right now, Superman needs to make $1 billion. If it doesn't, it's a big L. It's a massive L. I don't care what anybody says. If Superman does not make $1 billion or more, it is a L for the company, for the director, for the cast, and for everything that's going with it, because it's just going to drag it. Everything that's connected to it is just going to be dominoes effect. Everything is going to go down with it. That's why it's interesting, like I said, how things are changing. I remember when everybody was saying, no, Netflix will never play the DCEU movies. And what happened? We got it last year in December. And now, oh, Zach's never coming back to WB. Let it go. Drop it. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody's always talking the nonsense, right? And what do we have now? WB themselves announced it. Yep, that they're in negotiations with Zack Snyder to do the prequel of 300. We're finally moving in the right direction. That's all it took. It took WB the hard way to see that in 2023, we the fans don't screw with us, because we're going to go watch what we like, not what you think we like. We didn't like any of those movies in 2023. Nobody asked for those movies. And then when they promised us with Black Adam that Henry Cavill was going to be back, of course the numbers shot up because people want more of that. Again, more proof. That shows you that people are hungry and they still want the DCEU. Oh yeah, for sure. If Andy Muschietti, if he does, what is it, Batman Brave and the Bold, it's completely gonna just be a circus. We already saw what it's gonna be like with the Flush. Look, I like how he did the whole thing, the opening with Ben Affleck, and again, that wasn't even Ben Affleck. That whole opening was with the stunt double. And of course, when we have that little like 2-minute cameo with Ben Affleck with the car, where he's like, "Oh, maybe some other time." What he did with that opening scene, I'm gonna give him credit. It was dope. I liked it. The music was good. Everything was good, except when Wonder Woman comes into play. I mean, that was cool that she was there and everything, but the way that they made and portrayed Ben Affleck's Batman, even though that was a stunt double, he's like, "Oh, my ego's too big to thank you." Come on, dude. He's not. He's not like that. Dude is humble. He's respectful. When he told Alfred, "Yo, Faith, Alfred," and he's always positive and stuff. So why are you gonna portray Ben Affleck's Batman like he's a punk? See what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And that is just a taste of what Andy Muschietti is going to give us if he does direct The Brave and the Bold. That's gonna be just straight up comedy. And for sure, they're gonna throw Batman with underwear. I guarantee you. Because if we're getting, what is his name? David Cornsweet, whatever his name is, and his Superman with the trunks, the same thing is gonna happen with Batman. We're gonna get that Batman with underwear again. Come on, man. We're not in the 50s anymore. That's why I like what Zach was giving us. I really like what Christopher Nolan was giving us. And that's another thing too, while we're on the topic with Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan was the one that told WB, "Hey, look, I'm not gonna do anything more after The Dark Knight Rises." All right, cool. But here is Zack Snyder. Do something with him. And what happened? Boom, San Diego Comic-Con was popping. The numbers were popping. Fans were popping. I'm talking to you right now, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking and remembering when I first saw when they were announcing at Hall H back in 2011, 12 or something, that they were talking about Batman vs Superman, or right before when the movie came out, 2014 probably, whatever. And the trailer leaked online. It was nuts. Everybody was going wild. And then when we had the announcement from David Ayer with Suicide Squad, the same thing. And then when I saw it in theaters, I was like, yo, these people are doing it right. Because once I saw that Batmobile pull up on Suicide Squad with Joker and Harley, I was like, yo, these people are on a roll. This is how you do a universe. And it was different from Marvel. And that's the best part about it. It was different. There was no jokes. There was no cheesiness. It wasn't like what Marvel was giving us. This was a more realistic but comic type, if you want to say, world. It wasn't so real like Christopher Nolan. The Nolanverse was awesome for his time. But since day one, I was like, this is just way too realistic. I mean, we know that there's nobody in the Batmobile jumping around on freaking rooftops. It's like, it's impossible. But the way that Zach gave us that take and that taste with Batman versus Superman, I was like, yo, they need to do Batman with this character ASAP. I remember everybody was talking bad about Ben Affleck when he first came out. At the time, I didn't see what it was, Daredevil, so I wasn't familiar with it. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, he looks like a Bruce Wayne. He looks like a Batman. You know, he has the physique. And once he started working out, when I saw him in Batman vs Superman, I remember I had got a special invite. I still have a poster. Maybe one day I'll show it with y'all. But I have the poster from Batman vs Superman, and you know they gave us a free poster at the time. And I remember seeing that movie in the theaters, and everybody from WB, you know, in my local area, were in that theater, and they were so anal that nobody could have cameras in there, and that's fine. It's understandable. But the audience reaction was amazing. I had never experienced a movie the way that I saw that movie. It was nuts. Everybody was in there cheering. Everybody's like, whoa. And when Wonder Woman came on screen, yo, everybody was like completely mind blown. It was quality. Again, it was ahead of its time. That's what I'm saying. If WB would have just continued and say, you know what, we're gonna keep going with what Zach is doing, and you know wherever the road takes us, so be it. But then what happens? So many people in the way, and look at where we're at right now. Because why? Plain and simple, they didn't let Zack Snyder cook. If you would have let him cook, we wouldn't be in this mess. And look at what Netflix is doing. Netflix is so organized with what Zach is doing. How? We got Rebel Moon 1 and 2, PG-13. I loved it. I enjoyed it for what it is right now, honestly. Part 2 is better than Part 1. The extended cuts are going to be, of course, they're going to be bloodier, they're going to be more stronger, more graphic. To the ones that enjoy it, hey, enjoy it. I'm going to check it out. I'm, I'm not too excited of it because, like, I'm like, yo, like, it's good as it is, but I get it. You want to please those fans, and that's understandable. And look at what Netflix is doing. They're investing more into doing a 6-hour director's cut. Think about that. Just sit there and think about that. Rebel Moon, 6 hours. How much footage there has to be in there? It's nuts. It's nuts. That's insane. It tells you that there's quality there. Netflix believes in Zack Snyder because Zack is a brand. And that's what now WB is finally seeing. Hey, everybody's going to Netflix. We have HBO Max. Nobody's signing up. They're all leaving us. They're all signing up to Netflix. What do? They're right now running around saying, yo, call Zach. We need to bring Zach back. Exactly. I've been saying it for a while. You need to get on the phone, call Zach, call David Ayer, announce that the Snyderverse is getting restored, that you're continuing the DCEU, fire James Gunn, and continue where things left off. And that's it. That's it. And you will see. It proved to you the day that they announced it. What was it? I think on Friday, that Zach is gonna do a 300 prequel, and boom, look at the stocks. They went up, started going up. They've been in the red for months. I think almost for a year or something like that. And let's not forget that now WB has that movie that's doing bad at the box office, Furiosa. Nobody's caring about that movie again because it's not quality. And what happens? I heard that it's good. I don't know. I'm not interested, so I'm not gonna check it out. But maybe someday. But when it comes down to it, WB is finally realizing that hey, we need Zach back because we know that he has a following. His fans are gonna support it. They're gonna subscribe to our services. I'm sure that Max has lost so many subscribers because majority of them are over at Netflix. And I know that Disney has lost subscribers too because they're over at Netflix. Again, that's why it's so bad that not Netflix, that WB and Disney have to do a quote unquote partnership to offer us, right? Because we're the consumers, the fans, so we can sign up to their services. To the day of the day, I don't have Disney Plus. The hell, I don't even have HBO Max. You know why? They ain't getting my money. But Netflix, hell yeah, Netflix for the win. Why? Because Netflix has so many good shows. And it's not only with Rebel Moon. They have other shows too. I don't know if you guys seen One Piece. One Piece is amazing. That thing was insane. It's so awesome. The same thing with what it was, The Last Airbender. Fantastic. You have good movies. You have good entertainment. That's what the fans want. That's what people want. They have original content. Since the day of today, how long has it been now that HBO Max launched? I think they launched during the pandemic or something. What from the top of your head can you say right now that HBO Max is offering that are plenty of shows to sign up for? Go ahead, I'll wait. What, you gonna tell me Euphoria or whatever that show's called? That's it? That's it, because there's nothing else. See the difference? And that's where WB is losing. Because if you have a streaming service, but you don't have people signing up to it because you're not giving good quality, the fans are just going to go somewhere else. And who's giving it? Netflix. That's why Netflix stocks are high. And then you have Disney, but then the shows that Disney are putting out are just not eye catching. People are going to check it out. They're going to, yeah, I don't care about it. Look, now that we're talking about this, interesting. I got two ads today while I was watching YouTube, like on the PS5, about Tubi. They're advertising Tubi. Tubi. And they had the DC EU movies on it. Why? Because WB needs the money. So they're trying to get money every way possible. When I saw that, I started laughing. I was like, oh no, they really did it. Like, they're really pushing the Batman. They were pushing, I think it was Aquaman, the first one. And I think it was Shazam. I don't remember now. All I know is that I saw that. I was like, oh my God, they're really pushing Tubi. Like, I was like, I can't believe it. It's really happening, you know? And that, yeah, that's true. That's true. Zack Snyder got our DC heroes right. Exactly. A lot of people don't understand it though. The take what Zack was giving us was far ahead of the game. It was far ahead of the game. And that is quality that you need, because you need fans that are going to support, and they're going to give you, financially, they're going to support you. So what is Netflix doing? They're catering to the fans. They're not catering to an agenda. They're catering to fans. And that's the problem that Hollywood has. Finally, it looks like they're finally waking up, and things are slowly shifting. If you look at the industry, overall, things are changing slowly, because they're finally realizing, hey, you go woke, you're going to go broke. And that's exactly what's happening throughout all these years. It's finally caught up to them. This is why I see that WWE probably is going to go with plan B, like we heard from multiple sources, that they're going to bring in Zack in case James Gunn's DCU, which we know it's going to fail and flop. There's no denying that. So the plan B is back to the drawing board. How? We're going to continue with Zack. We need to call David Ayer. We need to, it was the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Like I said, James Gunn will not, let me repeat that. While James Gunn is in power, he will not release the Ayer cut. You know why? Plain and simple. Because he doesn't want competition. Because he already has his universe with his Suicide Squad. So why would he want to go ahead and release David Ayer's Suicide Squad? It wouldn't make sense. Especially with his ego. He's not going to do it because he's going to be like, well, now fans are going to want Jared Leto back as Joker. I mean, how do I top that off? You can't. You can't top it off, and you'll never top it off. James Gunn's DCU will never top the level of quality that Zack Snyder and David Ayer gave us. Never. Telling you, with James Gunn, I see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to do like what a lot of people are saying. It's all about him. It's all about him. It's all about me, and me. Well, your me is going to take you down that negative. And that's why I think they're now trying to reach out and trying to negotiate with Zack. If I was Zack, I'll be like, you know what? I'll come back under one condition. Let me continue and finish my vision. That 5-story arc that you promised me, let's finish it. You want? The numbers don't lie. Look at the charts of Netflix. Look at the stocks of Netflix. Look at the subscribers of Netflix. That's why I give it to Netflix. Netflix has every right in this industry to do what they're doing. Netflix doesn't have to respond to any of us and say, hey, look, we have this much subscribers, but we lost this much subscribers. No. You know why? Because they're so big that they don't need to report that, because that shows you how big they are. Disney, constantly we keep hearing that people are unsubscribing. Same thing with Max. People are unsubscribing. Why? Because you're not catering to the fans. All you need to do is simple. Just cater to the fans. Give the fans what they want. Boom. You're good to go. But until you don't do that, then you'll never have that positive margin when it comes to profits. And that's why Netflix for the win. Because Netflix, bravo, bravo, you're doing it right. And while we're on the quick topic, that's why I'm happy with what now Hasbro and Paramount Pictures is doing. Yes, I get it. Michael Bay has always been there producing and doing these things behind the scenes. That's fine. But if you look at Rise of the Beasts, very simple. How? If you look at the characters, they look more from the Bayverse than what they do with what we had before. They don't look G1. They do look G1, but they look more like, the Bayverse designs and stuff like that. They also included the music from when Michael Bay was doing, his Transformers and stuff like that. And again, Hasbro knows that they need this name. Why? Because they know fans are gonna come out to it. It was more enjoyable. The same thing with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers needs Zack Snyder. At this point, we know that they need them. They know that they need Zack Snyder. That's why Netflix is winning because they have him. And yes, people are gonna talk good, and a lot of people are gonna talk bad. It's in everything, but the numbers don't lie. And Netflix numbers are high. They are winning. They're succeeding. They have subscribers. We know that, in the past, when they've lost subscription because of, dumb mistakes that they've done, certain shows, I won't talk about or mention it, but I'm sure we all know which ones, it hurt them. And people were unsubscribing. They were like, no, I'm not going to be with them. And it hurt them. And what happened? They removed that content. And then again, started going back up. So ever since till now, they've been doing good with that. That's good. Keep it up. WB, on the other hand, all I could do is just shake my head. I'm like, what are we gonna do with you? What? The same with Disney. Disney, what are you doing? Come on. You rebooting all these movies. You're turning all these cartoons that were, classics of most of us growing up. Lion King, for example. And you're gonna ruin it how you did with that live action movie? Why? Some things are not meant to be rebooted, and that was one of them. The same thing with Warner Brothers and DC. You didn't have to reboot DC with the live action films. It's just causing more confusion because now this timeline, but it sets up this timeline, but this one's not connected, but this one is connected, but this character's from this universe, but this one was in that universe, and then this one and that one. I don't know if you guys have seen the skit of Mad TV with John Madden. It's an old skit. You see him like pointing everything. He's like, over here, but this and that, this and that. He's just drawing a bunch of lines. Everything is just confusing. That's how I feel with Warner Brothers and what they've been doing. Everything is all over the place. It's here, it's there. It's like, yo, make it make sense. That's it. I just want one universe that everything connects and everything is just solid. And when you look at it, that's why with Zack Snyder and David Ayer, even though the two directors, they had two different visions, but I respect David Ayer for what he did because David Ayer brought in Ben Affleck to do a cameo with what we saw in Suicide Squad. Not one, but multiple cameos. In the beginning, at the end, the middle, all that stuff. That's how you do it. And not only that, he's bringing the Batman of that universe. That's perfect. It's all one straight line. And then what happens at Justice League with Zack Snyder at the end, the epilogue scene, it sets up something with the nightmare scene, and you have Jared Leto Joker, so he's into the future, but it's the same actor. He redeemed himself. I loved what they did with Jared Leto. I get it. A lot of people don't like him. That's cool. You're entitled to your opinion. But with the performance that he gave as Joker in the DCEU, chef's kiss. You can't top that in that universe. How come with James Gunn we don't see a Joker? Where is he? So he just vanished. He's just thin air, right? He got wiped away the same with like Thanos. What, we're just gonna sweep all that under the rug? Come on, man, explain all of that. That's where WB needs to bring in Zach and continue and fully wrap everything with the Snyder for all. That's it. That's all we need, and we will be good. And that's it. After that, you want to do whatever the hell you want, go for it. I'm down for it. But at least you finally gave us a proper conclusion. You respected the director. You respected the cast. You respected the fans. And most of all, you gave the consumers what they wanted. That's where we're at. Things are going to change. They're starting to shift slowly. This is why I tell each and every one of you, if you believe in what Zach was doing with the DCU, if you enjoyed, you loved what he was giving you as content, and you want more of it, damn it, keep on fighting for it. Keep on using the hashtag of Restore the Snyderverse and release the air cut. Notice that those are the only two hashtags that I've been using. And thanks to each and every one of you that has helped this channel to continue to grow. I'm here holding the front line, like I say. You know how many insults, disrespects, and even threats I've gotten since Friday? It's insane. But you know what? I continue to move forward. And you know why? Because I believe and I know that faith, endurance, and staying ahead, focus, the Snyderverse is going out about it. It's coming. It's just a matter. I've been saying it for a while. It's going to happen within time. It's all up to us, the fans. Yeah, Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad was the worst ones, but yet even those are the worst ones. Those are okay to continue and move forward, right? You see what I'm saying? So if those were the worst ones, it hurt your company. You guys are gonna move with that? Why? How? I thought we were in here to win, not to lose, and that's what's been happening. It's just been going more and more down. It's just been flopping and flopping. That's why I say in 2023, last year, all those movies that we got, they all flopped. And look, I want to say this to each and every one of you. Bravo. Bravo. I'm clapping because we did a fantastic job together. How? Because we all came together and we boycotted these movies worse each time more and more. When they announced it was Shazam 2, it didn't make the numbers that they want. When it went up to the flush, it didn't make the numbers that they thought it were going to make. No, we did that, the fans. That's where everybody's like, well, you guys are the minority. No, it's not. We're the majority. We showed you in 2023. That's a wrap. What you gonna do? Nothing. Accept the fact. That's what it is. That's what it is. This is why we our goal is to continue until Zack Snyder says, hey, either stop or hey, it's getting restored. That's it. Those are the only two options we got ahead of us. And the same thing, once it does get restored, the next step is, and you better believe it's coming, the air cut. The air cut will released. And James Gunn knows it because James Gunn doesn't have authority. He doesn't have the power he thinks he has. Above him, there's other powers that are going to tell him, you know what? You need to release this because you've been hurting us financially for a while now. I'm sure those investors are upset and they're like, yo, we want our money or we're not funding any more of your projects. And this is why I think this is what's happening. Plan B is to bring in Zach to restore the Snyderverse because they're going to know that next year in 2025, when Superman is released, it's not going to get the results that they expected. It's not going to get the money that they thought they were going to make. It's going to be it's going to be on the negative and they know it. They're panicking. If the studio is panicking now and the movie isn't out, imagine when it's out and they're like, picture it right now. Let's look into the future, 2025. Superman Legacy is next week. All right, everybody's talking about it, this and that. Who's everybody? A handful? Because nobody's going to be interested. Tomorrow, oh, the movie comes out. But now you have people talking about it because they lift the embargo. Oh, that movie sucks. Oh, this is the worst one. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, opening night. What happens? Oh, no, this movie sucks, this and that. But guess what? Rotten Tomatoes is going to come out. It's going to give you a certified fresh. Is at high 95 or above. And then the audience score is going to be low. And what happens? You're going to have, again, the fans coming out. And the same thing that happened with The Flush, the same thing that happened with Blue Beetle, the same thing that happened with Shazam 2 is going to happen with Superman from James Gunn. They thought that they were going to make $1 billion with Matt Reeves and the Batman. And what happened? That movie underperformed. If I was the studio, I would have been like, you know what? We're done. It didn't work out. We're bringing in Ben Affleck and we're doing the real Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman. This Superman isn't going to work out. We're bringing in Henry Cavill. We're going to pay him what he wants. And we're doing Man of Steel 2, Man of Steel 3. We're going to have him face off against Black Adam. We're bringing in The Rock again. We're bringing in this guy, what's his name? The Shazam dude. But under the leadership of Zack Snyder. Because I'm sure if Zack was to bring in Shazam, it will be a whole different version. It wouldn't be like the Shazam we have right now. The same thing with how we got Jared Leto, and a lot of people were like, oh, he was too stupid. He was too goofy over in Suicide Squad. But then what happens with Zack Snyder's Justice League? People were like, yo, he redeemed himself. It's not that he redeemed himself. He was still good in Suicide Squad. It was just the studio with their nonsense that made him look the way that he did in that movie. But overall, that's where it's at. This is where we are. Again, we will stop at nothing. We will continue to fight, defend the Snyderverse until Zack Snyder says two things. Either he says, guys, stop, we're done, there's no more left in it, because to the day of today, he still hasn't said that. And I doubt he'll ever say that. Or two, he's going to say, hey, we're back. That's why I think he posted that picture of Batman versus Superman that he's just posted in the city. I think it's supposed to be Metropolis with the beginning when they're fighting in the opening scene of Batman versus Superman. You see the Gotham PD back there. You see the city and stuff like that. Every picture that Zach puts, he puts with a message. The question is, what is the message in that picture? Is he trying to say, hey, I'm back? Is he just trying to say, prepare for something that I'm arriving? Something is cooking behind the scenes. And for sure, it's going to be good. That's why. Interesting. That's how come all these trolls and salty ones are coming out, because they can't stand the success of how we're winning and we are still here all these years, and we continue to fight and defend, and there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it, because in the end, Snyderverse lives. But yeah, I want to appreciate everybody that's been here, that's dropped comments. I didn't really check them out and stuff like that. Just wanted to talk from the top of my head, from my heart, and all that stuff. I appreciate y'all. Thanks to you tuning in, watching, dropping comments, all that good stuff. Like I said, I have more plans for the channel. I know it's been a minute, last live stream, but I'm gonna try to stay on top of it a little bit more so we can, keep on doing what we're doing and stuff like that. I'll take like 2 minutes and just like try to read some comments real quick. Oh, we'll be getting the Batflick Batman. We will. Yep, that's all it is. James Gunn's DCU is nothing but a circus full of clowns. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad you guys enjoyed the live. Oh, for sure, we're gonna get Justice League 2 and 3. It's coming. It's coming. WB needs money. Now check this out real quick while we're on the topic. Notice how McFarlane Toys now, there's a leak of all these figures from a movie that was released, what, almost 10 years ago with Batman versus Superman? Why all of a sudden now they're releasing Ben Affleck? There's a leak that also Wonder Woman, that she's going to be with the Shield, Superman, a 2-pack Superman with Doomsday. And this is from the Snyderverse, because they know it's going to sell. They know it's profit. The same thing. That's what this is all about. It's all about profit, baby. There's no stopping it. We will stop at nothing. Let's keep moving forward. There's no stopping us. Whatever people say negative, we just keep going forward. Just look the other way. They know that it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And they know that James Gunn's DCU is going to fail and flop harder than the Hamadaverse. They know it. Even WB knows that they're not going to get the return on investment like they thought they would. It's not. Superman needs to make $1 billion. I don't want to hear excuses. If it makes 9, what is it, 9999, whatever, $1 less than reaching $1 billion is still a loss. Honestly, it has to make over $1 billion. If it doesn't, which we know it's not going to, it's failed and flopped. That's exactly what happens. Do I like money? Of course I like money. Everybody likes money. Oh man. Nah, nah. The ones that are real delusional are the James Gunn cultists. Because you guys live under that rock and y'all know that there's no stopping us. That's the beautiful part about it. Woo! I doubt WB is gonna get sold. At this point, I really highly doubt it. I mean, with them announcing that Zach is gonna be back, that's gonna help them. You know, they got points with that. They really do. Their stock started going back up, so that's a path that's shifting for them. So that's good. No, you can move on. I mean, if you want to move on, that's fine. We're not moving on, so they told us the same thing for the Snyder Cut until we got the Snyder Cut. So I get it though. Some of y'all still heard that we got the Snyder Cut, that we actually made it happen. So more power to us, right? Exactly, exactly. And the next thing we're gonna be getting is the air cut. So if I was you, I would just get something to drink, sit back, relax, get a comfortable chair or a couch or whatever, and watch it how it all unfolds because it's coming. We will get it in due time. Exactly. We're not moving forward until the vision is finished. Exactly. Oh, we're not arguing. We're not arguing. Their stocks are going back up. Exactly. That shows you that they're playing their cards right, and things are slowly shifting behind the scenes to the point where they know that they need to win back the fans, and this is where we're at. No, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I mean, there's if you like it, you like it. If you don't, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you know, we're gonna keep on doing our thing. So I would say the best thing is just step to the side while we continue to move forward. It's like being in a marathon. When you're in a marathon, you're running, and then if you see all these people coming at you running, are you gonna stay there, or are you gonna move to the side? You're gonna move to the side, right? Same thing with us. We're running at full speed. So the only thing I can say is just please step to the side because we're moving forward. And that's exactly what we're doing. But yeah, again, I want to appreciate and thank each and every one of you for watching, for tuning in. Like I said, I'll have another live stream another day and all that good stuff. But I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, until next time, peace.